Guys, welcome back to another collection update video. No, it's been a long time since there's been a collection video, so my apologies, but this is a collection update video, which I hope will give you a flavour of where I'm at right now in the collecting journey. And it's fascinating to look back on these things because they're continuously evolving, and you can never feel that you're actually where you are going to be for any length of time. So this is where I'm at right now, but it's been a while, and this is not the entirety of the collection, I have to say. There are some bits that I couldn't get out the safe today, but this is where I'm at. I think this represents nicely where I'm at in the current setup. There's a general sense of sort of downsizing. I think that's not just me, but there's a lot of people out there. General sense of downsizing, and there is also a real interest in 90s watches. I just feel, and I've written about this recently, but I just feel the 90s was an era of amazing proportion, amazing finishing, and all-round good taste. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first watch is one that I've known of for many, many years and loved for many, many years. It's no secret that I'm a big Vacheron fan, but I was hosting an event out in Copenhagen probably a year ago now, and there was a guy in the crowd that was wearing this, and I spotted it from a mile off. I could see it from up at the front of the room. I could see it at the back of the room, and he was wearing this yellow gold Vacheron Saltarello jump hour. Of course, this year it's been a big year for jump hours. Watches Wonders, there were loads of jump hours, but this was well before that. This is 1990s. This is late 1990s. An era where Vacheron probably wasn't at the peak of its powers, certainly not as popular and well known as it is now. And it's a case shape that we've never seen before. It's a case shape we've not seen in the past. We probably won't see again unless it's reissued. But I saw this on the man's wrist, old Rune, and it was one of those moments where we've all been there, where I said to him immediately, without even thinking about how it could work, I said, if you ever want to sell that, please let me know. And long story short, about 2-3 months ago, he got in touch, slid into the DMs and said, I think it's time that I moved the Salty on. And I thought, it's come at the very worst time. I got not a penny in the account, but anyway, made it work. Long story short, Brun came over and we had a wonderful day together, and actually encapsulates what Watch is all about, which is the relationships, the friendships. A lovely, lovely man. So this is the Vacheron Saltarello. It's got the JLC caliber in the back, the automatic that we all know from the Royal Oaks, from the Jumbos, from the Nautilus here in the 70s. But this is finished in a way that watches just now are not finished. It just would be a loss leader to finish like this. The rotor is beautifully hand engraved, fits the case back perfectly. The engraving on the case is so solid. This is one of the giveaway signs of a watch that's been over polished, is when you see the engraving, the stamps completely disappearing. In this instance, we feel this is one that's been really well preserved. Saltarello at 6 o'clock, and you've got the number of the edition, of which in this instance for yellow gold there was only 100. There was 100 in white, and there was 100 in pink on pink. Sorry, 200 in white, 200 pink on pink, and just 100 in the yellow. And I love the yellow. It's got this grey guilloche sunrise effect going on. The hour window itself has got this wonderful sort of cascade effect going on to really accentuate the hour. The font type in the window is just incredibly beautiful. Like the open 9 and the open 6, stunning, with a bit of grey going on, a bit of patina going on, and then you've got retrograde minutes, so the minutes themselves sweep across, and then you've got this beautiful effect. But the guilloche works insane. The hand is beautiful. It's got that level of intrigue to it. It's not apparently it's not Art Deco. It is arts and crafts, I gather. But just it's right where I am at the moment as a collector. It's 36mm, but wears probably a little bit bigger. It's intriguing. It's rare. It's, I would say, and I use this term lightly, but I would say it's a collectible watch. And I use that term lightly, but I'd say it's a collectible watch, one that I'm wearing a lot with t-shirts and loving it. So that's the Saltarello, which just, I'm so pleased and privileged and lucky to own. I should say, guys, as well, by the way, I should have said this in the intro, but my parents were not in watches. I was given an Omega Constellation on my 21st birthday, but I've never been given anything. And it's not lost on me that these things are, this is an extreme collection of things that are completely unnecessary and expensive. I've paid for each and every one of them. I've put myself into holes that I probably shouldn't have to have them, but nonetheless, each and every one of them are worn and enjoyed. So I just wanted to say that it's not lost on me that we're talking about really quite valuable things here that are very special. Next up is the 1860 from Chopard, a watch that you're probably familiar with. It's been relaunched in recent years. Chopard has been absolutely flying. The LUC offer is their peak. This was the first LUC that was produced in the 1990s. Again, 36.5mm case size with this insane Metalum dial. And anyone out there, the super geeks out there, will know that Metalum is the same place that Philippe Dufour gets his dials made. And honestly, you can tell the depth of character and the sheer presence this dial has, particularly here in this pink execution. It's just stunning. To me, it is such an elegant watch. It's even the size of the logo there, framed at 12 o'clock with this sort of medallion guilloche central reserve, and the markers, these sort of diamond markers that I think are so quintessentially Chopard. Difficult to make something that is time only recognizable, but I think they do it with the dagger hands and these beautiful diamond markers. It's just stunning. They made this with Mr. Parmigiani. We're going to come on to Parmigiani later, but Mr. Parmigiani was employed by Carl Friedrich Schauffele to develop this caliber, the 196 inside with a micro rotor, platinum micro rotor, and it took him 3 years to produce it. The finishing's absolutely insane. Swan neck regulator, beautiful beveling, beautiful perlage, fills the case again. It's just, all in all, I sort of am hard pushed to think that there's a nicer looking dress watch. I know there'll be guys out there saying the Calatrava of the world, will be up there, and for sure they are. But actually, I just find this has a little bit more to it, a little bit more character, a little bit more going on, and also an unexpected name on the dial. So all in all, really interesting. They were going to apparently make 1,860, so 1860. They were going to make in each execution, so white, gold, pink, and yellow. But actually, apparently, was so unpopular. The early references with hinged caseback had a fault to them, and basically the reference in the 90s and early 2000s wasn't very popular, so they never got even close to making that many. And my friend Maxim from Mr. Watchley, where this strap comes from, he was the one that looked at it and said, you know what, this is, he's actually been, he went to Chopard and he said that the pink execution were probably the rarest. I'm paraphrasing. Maxim, jump in the comments if I'm wrong here, but they really didn't produce very many at all. This watch I tried on when I had the pleasure of hosting London Watch Week earlier this year, and Sobdar was selling it, and Tim, my old friend Tim Green, was there, and I looked at the collection of watches that were on offer, and you know what it's like when you see something that catches your eye and you put it on, you can't take it off. You know, that's as a salesperson, you know when the person can't take it off their wrist, it's going to be going home with them. I couldn't take that off my wrist for the whole week. I should say the way you know this is not a reissue is, firstly, it's a white gold case. It's not the steel version, the lucent steel version that they've got going now, but also the date window at 6 is beautifully done. But you know that's the OG because it's got the date window there. That was removed for the reissue. Interesting enough, when you cycle through the days, the days themselves, they're different sizes. The different numbers of the days are different sizes. I think there was a little bit of playfulness there that you would not know unless you had one and had the chance to mess around with it. So these two watches, I just feel, are ones that, and I'm going to eat my words, but I feel like are part of the collection forever. Now, it's a huge thing to say, but I'm so enamored with these two at the moment. Now, next up is a watch that I've had in the past, and they say never go back. Once you break up with someone, never go back. And I've only gone and done it, but it's the Stealth from Lange & Söhne. It's the Lange 1 Stealth in platinum, and this version is the platinum with this beautiful grey sort of Ardoise dial, matte grey. Now, I did have, and I've done a video, and I've got to confess there are a few casualties along the way with these, and I'll share a few watches that have come and gone to get these in, because for me, this is the box here. There's 10 slots and there's not going to be more than 10 watches. So if one comes in, one's got to go out. And more often than not, if I'm buying a new watch, because literally I have to sell something to buy something else. And I've got this problem where I'm excitable and always keen on, for the next experience. And I'm in it for the experience. I'm in it to own as many different watches as possible to know what it feels like. And there isn't a watch, I don't think, on the wrist that represents quality quite like this. And I'm not sure what I mean by quality necessarily, but it's a feel of something just remarkable on the wrist. Design-wise, of course, instantly recognizable. Again, a 1990s design when Lange was reissued, brought back to life. This was the key design. And the 101027X, the secret Lange one that I had was amazing. And it had a painted dial and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But I couldn't quite square away the value increase. Now that was a watch that was at one point or another sort of in the 40s to £50,000, region. Very rare, maybe 100 of them made. This, not as rare, but trading for 25 to 30, so we're talking 10 to 15 grand less. I just couldn't quite square away the idea of holding something with that increment of value on top, when actually I'm getting an awful lot from this, And there's something about the monochromatic effect of the dial that I just find to be even more appealing. And it's a really difficult one because I love the painted dial of the previous 101227X, but actually, on balance, this particular dial color, this gray, is just drop dead gorgeous and so versatile. And again, something you see from a distance and recognize. So all in all, I just love the Stealth. Insane value. And look at that case. Is there a more beautiful case? 38.5 millimeters, brushed and polished combination. Is there a more beautiful case being produced right now at relative scale? I don't know. And look at the caliber in the back. We don't even need to go there. German silver. It's got a bit of patination going on. You know it's the old caliber because it's got the islands going on here and this 3/4 plate, but it's just heaven. And again, I'm probably going to eat my words, but these are watches that I wanted to share that I felt were representative ones that I think are going to be with me for some time. Pardon the pun. Moving on. I have loved Breguet for many years. We've all loved Breguet for many years. Breguet's been at sea, and there has never been, again, a better time to buy Breguet in the secondary market. And the Roth era of Breguet particularly, and I think pushed and pioneered by Ben, Watch Brothers London, Ben Dunn, a friend of mine, done an amazing job of telling the stories of that era of Breguet. But the minute you handle one of these watches, you can feel the quality. Again, I'm sounding like a broken record saying it about the Stealth and this, but truthfully, this is a piece of art on the wrist. It's absolutely on the brink of where I think I can go size-wise. And when I said earlier that I'm on the move down in size, this is probably my basement level. Now this is 36 millimeter, so slightly smaller than even the LUC, but I feel like it's got presence. This strap's got to go, by the way. I've ordered another strap for this coming very soon. But this came fairly recently. I've always loved this dial layout. It's reminiscent of an old pocket watch from Breguet. It's got this crystal that's just perfectly flat. I've got to say, there's something about crystals that are flat that I love, where the light just folds seamlessly across. There's no reflections. You've got a day and a date window here, which even looking at them is just wonderful. It's sort of hollowed out in some ways. It's given depth. Sometimes date windows and day windows and aperture windows are just sort of left to be dropped down, and it just doesn't feel right. Whereas here, they're almost given this sort of dreamlike appearance, the same way that the guilloche here is done at the 12 o'clock for the moon phase. Even the way the type font, the typography, the proportions of it are printed on here on this instantly recognizable Breguet style dial is just stunning. Now, I'm not a huge Roman numerals guy, as I've touched on before, but it's just hard to express how beautiful this is. Now, full of different guilloche finishes. It's even got a patination to it. It looks like it's almost been smoked a little bit, but of course, this is an 80s, 90s watch again, so it's taken on this patination. Coin edge case, cabochon on the crown there. And what really struck me the minute that I took it out of the box, and I'm one for trying to be aware of that emotion you get when the minute you see the watch come out, the minute you unpack it, you're ripping into it. What are you immediately seeing? And the first thing I noticed was how bloody tight the hands are to the dial. Incredible watchmaking to get that really tight, and we don't see that very often in watchmaking now, but super, super tight to the dial. Look at the length of those lugs, and these are soldered on. This is watchmaking of a different era. These are soldered on. The pushers on the side for the apertures are really easy and smooth to use. I actually quite like them. I know we're at a phase where perpetuals are getting, with AP and the likes of Grubel as well, and Beauvais without pushers now. But I actually quite like that. I find it to be old school. And then the cherry on the cake, the chef's kiss for me is the fact the case back's engraved. Some people don't like that. I love it. It says FR and BR, 16th to the 12th, 1934. And it's a 33... 3330 reference. I should have said that, but it's a 3330 reference. 1983. God knows what was going on in 1983, but that's the exciting thing. I can only imagine it's it's for a couple. It's got to be on the wedding day, surely. But loving that. Look at the thinness of it as well. Automatic caliber. You know, this is it. This is it. This is pure elegance and incredible value. So I paid early teens, maybe 12, 13,000 for that. Watch only. Breguet are amazing. They've been very kind actually to do some digging into the archives to give me some information on it. But that is a watch that I just feel is criminally underappreciated, undervalued. You look at that and I feel there's an awful lot more watchmaking there than that type of money. So hugely into that, really excited about it. Now we're coming to an era in the lineup of newer watches. This is my most recent acquisition. This is a Reverso. I've never had a Reverso in my collection before, and this is a watch that came out this year. It is the Tribute, the Duo Face Tribute, but in the mid-size case. It's stainless steel, Casafagliano strap, and I don't know what it is. I've always thought JLC is a really elegant brand, but I've never felt compelled to own one. And I think it's watching Tony Trainer's videos on Hodinkee about the brand and the history of the Reverso, and just having an opportunity to try this on for size. I actually got this from JLC, sent me one to try a while back, and I put it on the wrist, and I got the dear lady to take some photos of me wearing it, and that's not quite right. And I put it up online. I just wanted to get some feedback on the sizing, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive about the fact that it actually fit really nicely. And it's a watch that, as cliche as it sounds, I really feel that I'm wearing. I don't feel like it's wearing me. It's so incredibly elegant. Size-wise and proportionally, I feel like it's just so, you know, not dainty. I wouldn't say dainty is the word, but it just doesn't feel like I'm even wearing anything. Super, super clean, a white dial. I felt like it should have had like some grain finish to it or something, but it doesn't. It has this very, very clear white, almost stark white dial, which I really like, because you then have this combination of the brown strap, which gives it some life. Now, the Tribute case has always been one I've loved. The 1931, the Tribute case, a little bit more elongated, I felt, but it's got baton markers and Dauphin hands, like dagger hands. And apparently that is the I went into JLC yesterday to ask them. Apparently that is the thing to look for when you're looking for a Tribute. Is categorized by the fact that it's got baton markers, not numerals. And not stick hands. It's only ever got the baton markers. So super, super clean, and apparently very close to the original in size proportion. So I'm absolutely loving it. It's a bit of a design statement because I'm not a small guy. What am I? I'm 100 kgs, 6 foot, 7-inch wrist. But I just love it. The crown, as a side note for anyone out there considering it, the crown is hand wound, and the crown is a large crown that you can really handle. It makes such a difference, because some brands make tiny crowns you can't handle. But also listen to the quality of the wind. An absolute joy, truly an absolute joy. The only thing I'm now thinking about is what to get on the case back, and it's steel. So you can't get enamel, but you can get lacquer. I found out yesterday. So you can have a lacquer dial, a lacquered engraving, and you can take them anything. You can take them a drawing that a kid's done. It could be the photo of your better half's face, but it could all be engraved. Really impressive. Engraving's done in the boutique, but lacquering is done at HQ in Switzerland. Amazing watch. Now, I have to touch on this one finally, because we've got a lot of dress watches, and it's not lost to me that we've got a lot of dress watches. And I had to finish on a sports watch, and it's this. It is the 40mm stainless steel Tonda PF from Parmigiani, the Sienna model. Parmigiani I've been aware of for many, many years. In fact, I even went to when they used to sponsor the Montreux Jazz Festival, I went out there years ago and met Mr. Parmigiani himself, very charming man. Obviously has a great history in the watch world, having done work at Chopard and others. But again, I'd never been compelled to buy one, and that was all changed in an instant when I put this on my wrist, when I went to an event in London 8 months ago at Watches of Switzerland. I put this on, and the strap and the thinness, the fineness of the integration of this bracelet and this into this case blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I mean, we can talk about the fact that it's a traditional lathe guilloche dial in this sand colour, which catches the light beautifully. We can talk about the fact the hands are hollowed out. the fact that the markers are almost 3D and the fact that they're short, but they're almost 3D polished, mirror polished. We could talk about the Vacheron caliber in the back, but actually, for me, it's all about the comfort and the wearability. That's the key about this watch, of course, and the fact that it's just not one you see very often. You just don't see Parmigiani out and about very often, which is a bit criminal to me. The bracelet is reminiscent, funnily enough, of the old Kurt Klaus Perpetual Calendar IWC Da Vinci, an oddball watch that some of you might know out there. But this brushing and polished effect is really, really elegant. It's got an edge to it that's polished, but the central links are polished. Brushed, and then we've got this polished, and then we've got the traditional sort of raised and flat, smoothed, ergonomic sort of wrist hugging lugs that you know from Parmigiani and models from the past. I just love it. I absolutely love it. 40 millimeters, so incredibly thin. I don't know the metrics on the thinness, but what I can say is it's got a screw down crown, which for me is almost becoming an essential, because I just love the fact that, you know, when you're on holiday, even if you are just jumping into the pool, that you're absolutely good to go. What a watch. Finishing is beautiful, by the way. We could talk about it, but we're not going to talk about it. It's absolutely fantastic. And there we go, guys. That is the update video in what I think might be under 30 minutes. So I hope I haven't kept you too long. But I'm so excited about watches again, as you might be able to tell. And I'm so excited about the mix and the balance of the collection. As I say, there are bits that are not here today, but this is the core of where I'm at now. And I'm super, super excited. So thank you so much for joining me on the journey, as always. And I'll keep updating as we go along. But I just thought this was a little bit more fun to just give you a quick update without going bonkers. So please leave your comments below. Tell me which are your favourite. Tell me which are your two favourite below. And tell me what else needs to be added, if anything. Thank you so, so much, and see you soon. Go well.